What's it like being back here and coming in here as world #1 and off of a Grand Slam title?
Yes, but you think of, yes, it was a really long road, and you look back to the days and you think, well, you know, were they extremely tough, and, you know, you fall down on your knees when you win. Inside world, and you get in this position where everything that you've done on the court just speaks for itself, and it's just a really nice feeling to have.
What kept you going?
The sport. I mean, I've other sports that I play, but I missed, you know, I mean, when you start playing when you're 4 years old. And tennis at that time really didn't mean much, you know, it wasn't very big. I mean, we only had a few really good tennis players, but none that have really, you know, were at a very high.
Not only inspired so many people and a new generation in your homeland, but you're so popular around the world. You're the highest earning athlete, everything from candy to clothes. I'm
sure I'll be playing for many more years, but you know, I think when it all stops and you have the next chapter in your life and you look towards something else, I mean, you're going to have so many more years to live life, and being a mother and having children. I mean, my mom had me when she was really young, and I have such a great connection with her. But so many things that I think will progress.
2 rounds where he had easy wins. I think this is a very straightforward match for Roger Federer.
He only lost 9 games in those first 2 rounds, only played a little over 2.5 hours and really made up for it against Benito. But how about this incredible streak as today he goes for his 33rd straight Grand Slam quarterfinal. And Mr. Merlis is not inside the top 20, so the odds at least not in his favor. The weather is holding up nicely, and that's a good thing because there are an awful lot of people playing today. Final 16 roof closed for the 12th time here at the championships, but really up until this year it hasn't been a major factor. Now it is, and it has changed the tenor of some very important matches.
Oh, there's no doubt. And I'm sure, you know, and Andy Murray was not on the center court today. I was like, court 1, Serena Williams, court 2. That's good cues for those courts as well. But I think since we've had the roof, like, you know, what did we get global warming here for a couple of years where we didn't use it as much? But this year, especially the second week, the weatherman was in a slump the first week, but he's predicting rain all week. So it could come into play a lot, especially in men's matches. If some guys get done on the center court, it could force some guys to have to play 3-4 days in a row who don't get their matches finished on other courts. About
11 a.m. Eastern this morning, the weather is supposed to clear a bit. So we still have plenty of tennis for you. Again, we have cross-court coverage over on ESPN2 right here, every single point played today on center court. And to get you set for the day, his match yesterday, so he gets a nice little prep there on center court today, because you can imagine, Darren, that he's back there tomorrow against Andy Murray. Darren Cahill called Murray's match. Fill us in on how Murray looked today.
Yeah, Andy looked extremely good. I thought the third set was some of the best serving I've seen.
Nothing was falling out of his pockets. He had no wardrobe malfunction. He wasn't looking at the clock, or as he played the latest match in history 2 minutes after 11 the other night. So smooth sailing for Andy Murray. David Ferrer, so impressive. Both of them know each other well. They're friends, and they have a great history together at the Grand Slams this year, beginning with the Australian Open in the semifinals.
Yeah, he really does do a good job of not worrying about that. One match at a time. I know it's a cliche, but he does it one match at a time, and he'll go into this match against Ferrer fully knowing that Ferrer is a tough competitor. They practice pretty much at every tournament they go to. They are great friends, and he has great respect for Ferrer and the way he plays. The guy at 5'9" packs a bigger punch than anyone in the game under 6 feet. Big serve, moves to the net, very good variation in his game. This will be a tough one.
Andy Murray looking to get to his 4th straight semifinal. This, I guess, was to be expected, this kind of match for Andy Murray against David Ferrer, who said, listen, the Spaniards, we don't go away. Nadal has been Murray's nemesis here the last few years, and today, what do you make of this quarterfinal match?
Quite honestly, Hannah, I'm surprised at how tight this has been. 15, 20 years ago. That's how much. Don't give me this baloney, okay, that the surface hasn't changed here.
That's how much
it's changed.
Right.
And you know what? I think it's changed for the better. You can also now see this type of tennis on a grass court. It's been phenomenal to watch.
So here we have another Spaniard giving Andy Murray a very tough time. And again, looking to grab that final semifinal spot as the covers have come off. Doing a great job there, Mr. Rain Delay.
Come on,
you're going to get us back to action. Who does this respite favor at this point, or is it just is it just tough to call?
It comes out now. It's 5 games apiece. Ferrer to serve. I love what Murray did in the last couple of games of the third set, and he started to try to do it in the fourth. But you know what?
Off center court, so we're going to await the resumption of play. In the meantime, get you caught up on what happened as you were no doubt sleeping in on your day off on the holiday.
Save us some dogs, okay?
Yeah.
Back at home on the barbecue.
we're coming back
we
for
some.
those. Been able to do on the grass, even though Djokovic has been so dominant. How do you see this semifinal matchup?
Well, I think it's the best chance for Federer to beat Djokovic in a major now, and he's obviously lost to him in the last 3 major matches they've played. Djokovic is
said before at the start of the championships, and let's face it, he was cruising through the first 2 rounds before he had some problems in the next 2 rounds. But he said he really feels that Wimbledon and the U.S. Open is his next best chance to win that 17th major. He has not won a Grand Slam title since the Australian Open in 2010. It's been so hard to break through.
This is going to be his last chance. There's got to be a piece of him that realizes that the gap is starting to get just a little bit longer, a little bit. And this is his opportunity because Nadal is out, and he knows that if he can rally.
Upset alert
Former
everywhere.
Wimbledon champion struggling. Serena through, but we have Kvitova in a tight match, the defending champ. We have Sharapova down 1 set to love, and we have Roger Federer perhaps dealing with what we believe to be a back problem. There is a rain delay. They haven't closed the roof.
Why have they not closed the roof? This is, I mean, for me, at 12:15, I thought for sure they were going to close the roof. But I think these are all a byproduct of what happened last week. They closed the roof. It doesn't rain. You know, they're playing on some courts, not another, and then they have the tent up. But the big
seemed like he was moving a little better, and he beats Xavier Malisse, who has to be kicking himself right now in the unseeded players' locker room for a lost opportunity. So Federer comes back and wins that first set tiebreak.
Yeah, so Roger obviously will get to see his own trainer.
And it's supposed to be a daytime tournament. And with the use of the roof coming into play, we've had some key matches indoors and late at the night, including till after 11 the other night, latest match ever with Andy Murray.
Of all the places I've traveled in the world, Hannah, they take the weather here so seriously. And a lot of times they are very spot on. They have been in a slump since I've been here. They say it's going to rain. It doesn't. They say it's not going to rain. It rains. So they're in this quandary. But it's kind of unsettling to the players. Are we going to, they're both probably thinking, are we going to close it? Are we going to keep it open? What's the deal?
Obviously, you've been miscast as a sports reporter because clearly you should have been a meteorologist.
I'm an amateur, you know,
Just
wannabe.
ask Brad,
you know.
when in doubt about the weather. Meanwhile, how do you see this match going forward? So Roger Federer has some time now, as you mentioned, to get some treatment by his own doctor.
Ending, and it seems to affect the, you know, the hamstrings, the glute, and the lower back. So that's a very common tendency on grass, and that's what Roger, you know, apparently had in 2010. So if it is the same area, you know, his trainer will know exactly what it is, and they'll see what they can do. And then you saw Malisse get some treatment on the knee, and I think
going issue here, and the discussions the other night with Murray were whether the crowds would get out safely, everyone would get out of here. There's a 11 o'clock curfew that they had to discuss, but nonetheless, the roof has been the center point of all discussion and debate.
I actually had a couple of years where, what do you think? We actually have a summer over here. But now, this whole second week, there's rain forecast. So it's one of those things that, like, okay, because they did close the roof the other day.
For some sort of guidance, we know it's a lot more technical than that when it comes to the weather. Then we see the players getting ready to exit the locker room and come back out on the court, and now are told that, here we go, this will be anywhere from a 30 to 40 minute process.
Yeah, because they have to climatize it a little bit. And so Roger shoot him a look like, you know, shouldn't you have thought about that quite some time ago? But now we'll have a good 30 to 45 minutes, and now maybe Roger can get some more treatment.
At least they, like other players, know exactly when they will be playing. It'll be loosely, probably about 4